Hello, and welcome to the Barefoot Revolution podcast, a place where you will hear some jaw dropping opinions. My name is Vivek, and I'm joined by my two really close friends and core members of Team Barefoot, Vinayak Banerjee and Jatin Chaudhary.
कितना सही इंट्रोडक्शन किया है ना जेटी।
यार ये ज्यादा इज्जत देने लग गया ये।
हाँ, नॉर्मली गाली वाली देता है।
हाँ।
पर थैंक्स तीवू। तू थोड़ा हमारे व्यूअर्स को बताएगा कि हमने क्यों शुरू किया ये पॉडकास्ट।
वो तो तुम लोग बताओ, मैं तो बस होस्ट कर रहा हूँ। तुम लोग यहाँ पे आए हो, तुम लोग ने डिसाइड किया था कि पॉडकास्ट करते हैं, बताओ।
जेडी जेडी बता।
या बेसिकली पूरा दिन फुटबॉल बात ही कर रहे होते हैं, व्हाट्सएप पे हर जगह कॉल पे भी बात करते हैं, तो आधा टाइम फुटबॉल ही बात करते हैं। तो इतना फुटबॉल बात ही करते हैं तो पॉडकास्ट कर लेते हैं, बाकी लोग भी यही सब करते हैं तो रिलेट भी कर पाएंगे सारे फुटबॉल फैंस हमसे।
डिप्लोमेटिक आंसर देता है ये लड़का यार। वैसे वो सबको बता देते हम करते क्या है यार, सब सोचेंगे कि हम सालों से फुटबॉल ऐसे एक्सपर्ट्स बन के बैठे हैं, पर हम में से बस हमारा
विनायक।
ओह थैंक्स मिस्टर विवेक। 5 ईयर प्लान भी पूछेगा कि इसके बाद?
नहीं, अभी आप कहाँ पर हो, क्या करते हो? मैंने सुना आप
अच्छा।
साउथहैम्पटन में भी काम किए हो।
ओह हाँ, मतलब अभी मरा रहा हूँ यूके में। और हाँ, थोड़ा सा जब एमबीए कर रहा था तो सताम्पटन के साथ काम किया एक बार। क्या नाम है भाई का? वर्जिल वैन डाइक को देखा भी था एक बार खाना खाते हुए, तो बिगेस्ट अचीवमेंट ऑफ माय लाइफ वही है। बाकी पॉडकास्ट तो बहुत सही है यार, क्योंकि हम क्लोजेट एक्सपर्ट्स तो हमेशा से थे। मतलब क्लॉप वॉप तो कुछ भी नहीं है हमारे सामने, ऐसे ही फाड़ते रहते व्हाट्सएप पे। तो चलो थोड़ा सा इसको फॉर्मलाइज किया जाए।
पब्लिक प्लेटफॉर्म में सबको गाली देने में अलग मजा आएगा ना।
कौन बोल रहा है जो 22 साल से सबसे बड़ा गाली दिया? इडियट।
जीटी, आप क्या करते हो? मैंने सुना आप बेयरफीट रेवोल्यूशन नाम की कंपनी खोले हुए।
वो तो हम सब ने मिलके खोली थी, पर बेसिकली एक मैं काम करता हूँ, मैं भी 8 साल से मरवा ही रहा हूँ। बाकी पॉडकास्ट करते हैं यार स्टार्ट।
अच्छा है, ब्यूटीफुल। तो मतलब हम एस्पिरेशनल इंडिया की आवाज है।
हाँ, बेसिकली सब कनेक्ट कर पाएंगे ना, सब मरवा ही रहे हैं एक दूसरे।
तू देखा टीमू तेरे को बता रहा था कलर यही लड़का होगा सबसे एंटरटेनिंग। तो शुरू किया जाए टॉपिक।
सिंपल सा टॉपिक है यार। वी ऑल आर प्रीमियर लीग फैंस, so let's try to predict the top 6 for next season. That's it.
इंटरेस्टिंग। तो तू हमारा पॉडकास्ट मतलब सिर्फ इंटरनेशनल फुटबॉल कवर करेगा या फिर क्या प्लान है? सब कुछ करेंगे हम, इंडियन फुटबॉल, राइट?
सब कुछ।
वंडरफुल। तो ठीक है, गुड स्टार्ट।
So tell me, पहला मैं टीम का नाम लेता हूँ और तुम लोग बताओ अग्री करते हो कि नहीं।
ठीक है।
ठीक है, so let's start with Arsenal.
कंट्रोवर्शियल सबसे पहले ही रखा तुमने।
जेटी क्या सोचता है?
यार आर्सेनल का मुझे लगता है चांस तो है, बट मुझे नहीं लगता टॉप 4 में तो कोई चांस है। 5th-6th प्लेस के लिए आर्सेनल फाइट कर सकता है।
और तुझे ऐसा क्या लगता है लास्ट सीजन से ऐसा क्या चेंज आया है कि 8 से सीधा टॉप 6 में आ जाएंगे? आई नो इट्स नॉट अ ह्यूज क्लाइंब इन टर्म्स ऑफ द नंबर ऑफ प्लेसेस, बट like what have they changed?
It's not a huge climb, but it's like Arteta जब से आया है, they've been playing a little better than what they used to under Emery.
That's true. But is that just a result of like relatives, क्योंकि वो लोग इतने टट्टी थे कि आर्टेटा आके थोड़ा सा tweaks कर दिया और and then it suddenly started looking better, but can they sustain that level of performance throughout the Premier League?
They might, क्योंकि even if we consider the Community Shield as absolutely nothing, they still have 2 trophies to show for themselves, right? और ये definitely उन्हें confidence तो देगा कि ठीक है, we can perform to climb places in the Premier League and fight for the Champions League spot if nothing else.
Interesting fact पता है कि there's a huge Tivu data science इसको पता होगा कि there's a huge inverse correlation between teams winning the community shield.
Community, of course.
So generally what tends to happen is teams which win the community shield don't end up winning the Premier League. Of course, City are they're an anomaly, however you look at. But like my problem with Arsenal is they haven't addressed their weaknesses. Like they still have a weak core. They have a shady defense. Um, they haven't strengthened up top. They've added Willian, who's what 30, and Tibu's favorite player. I don't know how much Willian would add in terms of attacking threat, and they've got Auba, who scored about 50% of their goals. So there's just too much reliance. So they've not strengthened the squad per se. They've gotten two defenders who are relatively unknown. I struggle to see them in the top six for some reason. I just don't think they can sustain.
What if they get Thomas Partey from Atletico? What about that?
Now there you go. Yeah, I think that would change the game, right? I think Thomas Partey has been Europe's most underrated central midfielder for the last 4 to 5 years. I mean, he's Simeone blood, and that's what Arsenal need. So that might change things, but इस स्क्वाड के साथ मुझे नहीं लगता टॉप 6 to be quite honest.
यार इनके पास टोरेरा भी है who's played very well in the international level. I don't know why haven't they used him effectively.
Yeah, I think Lucas Torreira had a fantastic start and then he sort of dropped form. That's because of
Doesn't look
type
like
of game he plays.
In favor,
Because he's the sort of person who relies on a little bit of extra speed to nick the ball. He's not a great passer. He's not a dribbler. So he's not creative in any form. So he just needs that little bit of extra pace, and I think he's lost that. And he's being run over in the midfield by the better teams. Like if you look at Arsenal play the better teams, and I'm not talking about the two league finals that they won, but I'm talking about in general. Whenever Torreira plays, they get run over. He's lost that bit of edge, and so that's why I think that's a good point about Partey. It's tricky with Arsenal as it always is.
Very tricky.
So what's the consensus? Yes or no?
You think that Arsenal will not finish in top 6? JT
Yeah.
thinks and they will.
Okay.
So let's see. At the end of the season, we will come back to this.
And this is not scripted. Like we didn't create this
completely
purposely.
unscripted.
Like
Guys, whoever is listening, this is unscripted.
this is unscripted. ऐसा नहीं है कि बोल के आया कि तू disagree करना.
Okay. So I recently watched a documentary on this team, as it has our idol Mourinho in the lead role. So let's talk about Spurs.
Ooh. I am massively biased. I don't know, JT. What about you?
I'm not too stoked about Spurs personally. Yes, they have Jose, but then again, a lot of their players, again, like Arsenal, these guys are too reliant on specific players.
Yeah. By the way, it's not Jose. It's Jose.
He's saying that in the documentary also.
Yeah, JT should watch the documentary
I definitely need to
before commenting on the chances of Spurs finishing in the top 4.
But why do you think they'll finish in the top 4 or top 6? Do you think they'll finish top 4?
See, I was researching. I did a lot of research to justify this answer. The only thing that I found is I love Mourinho. I don't think that cuts. That makes the cut. But I think what Mourinho has done brilliantly, and he's done this at every club that he's been in. And I think all three of us agree that top 6 is definitely realistic for Spurs. Like, I'm talking about the top 4. I think what he does brilliantly, he lowers expectations. He made a Premier League team that had won 13 Premier Leagues. He made them celebrate the Europa League as if it was the greatest achievement of their entire history. So that guy's a genius. He's brilliant at psychology, and I think he's done that with Spurs as well. I think Pochettino, like when Pochettino was the coach, everyone had that mentality that even if they finish in the top 4, it's an underachievement. Like I remember the season they lost to Leicester, and the season henceforth where I think it was almost looked down upon when Spurs finished in the top 4, like because he created that aura. Mourinho has come in, has destroyed that. they celebrated qualification to the Europa League last season. Like it was wild celebrations.
Yeah,
I was at a pub and those guys were celebrating like as if they had won the Premier League. It's insane how he does that. So I think that pragmatism would help him because he set expectations so brilliantly.
but the expectations last season were not that high, right? They were already very low in the league when Mourinho came in, and therefore qualifying for even Europa was a huge thing.
yeah, I doubt that expectations were low given that they had reached the finals of the bloody Champions League this season
Yeah, but
before.
but the way they started the season and the way it
Absolutely.
was looking, right?
Absolutely. But you can't. Like, that's not how football fans think. Like, if you have with the same players, if you manage to get to the Champions League finals, then what has changed? I think that's where they get frustrated. They
Um,
sacked Pochettino, but even at Pochettino's worst, Spurs were still playing some of the best attacking football in the league. They were just shit defensively. Mourinho came in. He didn't fix the defensive side of things. If you look at the amount of clean sheets, like it's exceptionally low for a Mourinho team. So he really struggled to put the defense together. What happened was, as a consequence of a lot of other teams playing shit football and a few wins that he managed to pull through, he reached where he reached. But it wasn't necessarily an improvement from the Poch team. And that's what I think would help them now is that Mourinho has gotten expectations like really low, and he's made some very intelligent signings, and these are Mourinho signings. These Philip
yeah,
Holberg, who is like
Holberg is definitely Mourinho signing.
he's a Mourinho signing through and through. Like he's like when Mourinho first joined Chelsea, I think he had Makelele, who he trusted, and then he got in Michael Essien, and both of these guys were like world class. Since then, when he went to Real Madrid, he still struggled to find a Makelele type of a player or an Essien type of player. So he tried a lot of different things. He even played Pepe in midfield, I remember, where Pepe used to kill all of the Barcelona people and like just kick Messi around. And so wherever he's gone, like Inter, he had a phenomenal Dejan Stankovic. Like he had a really strong core. But since then, he hasn't been able to find that player who would sort out his midfield. He's tried Matic, worked out for a season, didn't later. He moved Matic over to Manchester United, and he had a good season there as well. But he has struggled to find that. I think Holberg is what Mourinho is looking for and has been looking for. And with Harry Winks and Sissoko, I think they form a really strong core. I've seen Sissoko play, and I think he is the key because he covers the right back, which he won't need to do now that Matt Doherty is in. And Doherty is much more circumspect defensively, even though he's a right wing back. But he's very good defensively. I think that's the Nuno way of
He,
playing. Like even if you're good going forward, you're
he
good.
I think Doherty, if you look at Doherty's stats, right, and if you compare those with Aurier's, the defensive stats are almost similar, except for the um, aerial duels. I think the defensive stats are almost similar for both of those. The only thing that Doherty improves is when he goes forward. I think that is one thing that he would improve given Mourinho allows him to go inside.
Yeah, I
But
doubt
the
that's going
thing
to happen
is,
though.
yeah, but the thing is, they already have so many players who will cut in inside, like Son, Mora, Lamela, and Kane's already there, so they'll already have a lot of players in there. So if he's just tugging the line, I'm not sure how effective Doherty would be because his crosses are almost similar to Aurier's.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I'll tell you why he doesn't has very similar defensive stats to Rodriguez, primarily because of the way Wolves set up. He's more of a wing back, and he's got fantastic cover in Connor Cody, Willy Bolly, Moutinho, Neves both drop into that right hand side, so he gets a lot of freedom when he plays for Wolves, and he gets to cut in. But like Matt Doherty, if he wants to be, he's a very settled defender as well. So I think that's what he adds. Aurier Mourinho wouldn't have replaced Aurier with someone without defensive skills, to be 100% honest. Like, Aurier was a complete nut. Like, he would be exceptional going forward. And in terms of, like, when I say exceptional, it's not that his end product was any good. It was just that he would bomb forward and he would put Sissoko at risk, and the right hand side was always circumspect. I think Doherty is much more responsible than that, and Mourinho will utilize that fact. He strengthens the Spurs squad. Holberg does. The only problem with Spurs, as you said, is if you take away Harry Kane, Mora is not in the greatest of forms. Um, Son, again, it would be too much of an over reliance. Um, and it all depends on Dele Alli's sort of form going into the Premier League season. I think we can go on and on about Spurs of all teams, primarily because the documentary is just out. Mourinho's been our favorite. All three of us have been Chelsea fans, but I think they'll play shit football, to be quite honest. And I think shit football is what will
That's what
get them to the
Mourinho
top four.
thrives on, right?
Exactly. He doesn't thrive on shit football though. Like he's been dismal in his last couple of seasons. I think what he thrives on is lowered expectation and the feeling that if Spurs do get into the top four, they will overachieve. I
But,
think that's what going to that's
but do
that's
you
going to help
think
them.
if the Spurs don't perform well at the start of the season and he starts complaining about a couple of players right out, will he lose the dressing room early?
100%, 100%. Like Tibu said कि थॉमस पार्टे आ गया तो आर्सेनल का पूरा वो बदल जाएगा. Similarly, एक अगर कुछ हो गया ना मोरिनियो कुछ भी
Because
मिड सीजन
Mourinho का तो पता ही है,
exactly
every past team that he has managed, he's managed to lose the dressing room.
exactly. I think he deliberately loses the dressing room as well when he wants to leave a club because बहुत convenient excuse हो जाता है फिर. And he has a massive ego. So one of two things will happen. One is there'll be a massive fallout and Spurs finish below 10 in the bottom half of the table. Very low probability, but with Mourinho, that's always a possibility. But I have high hopes from LA because of the lowered expectations.
So right now, Vinayak's idea is that Spurs will be in top four, and JT thinks they won't even be in top six.
They might be sixth, but I don't. They have no chance in finishing in the top four.
I
Talking about
I want to disagree with that, but I have nothing to justify myself apart from the fact that I love Mourinho. So fingers crossed. He's the special one for a reason. Serial winner. Let's see how that plays out.
I think this is his last chance to cement his legacy. LC is gone, and no club is going to bet on him again, especially in England.
So I agree with that. I think it's his last chance.
If he fails, he's gone.
I think it's his last chance. The only other thing about Spurs, I know we've talked about this has become a all or nothing
So much
podcast,
left.
but I think the only other thing is like his systems I think are built to last for a very short span of time. So even in Chelsea, the system that he built, the moment he left, they struggled. At Real Madrid, when he left, they struggled. But his systems are hugely successful for a short span of time. So I think this is that one season that would prove to be that short span of time. I know top four is nothing huge in terms of footballing achievement, but it's still quite important given the monetary aspect attached to it. So fingers crossed, I think Spurs will finish top four.
Okay. Talking about expectations, what do you think of City and Liverpool?
I don't think we need to have a discussion on those two, to be quite honest. Definitely top.
See, Liverpool basically have the same team from last season. The front three are the same. One injury to VVD, and it might be curtains for them to win back-to-back titles.
If the debate is about Liverpool winning it again, that's definitely. I don't think they're going to win it. To be quite honest, I think with Laporte fit and with if they sign Koulibaly, City are going to be. They're literally going to be unbeatable. I think one defeat here and there. I don't see them not winning the league.
Yeah, that I agree with. I think there is a very high chance of City winning the league this season than Liverpool retaining the title.
Klopp said that they're going to attack for the next title. They're not going to defend it, they're going to attack it.
But having said that, that doesn't mean Liverpool is not going to challenge for the title.
Absolutely.
They will definitely challenge because, let's face it, they've been consistently challenging for the title for at least 2 years now.
But
and they've been pretty consistent with it.
I think the consistency is fine, but I just don't know about like like Tibu said कि मुझे पता नहीं उनका player motivation किस level पे है अभी. I know Klopp's a phenomenal manager, so he'd sort it out. But like, I don't think there's any fresh blood in the team. I think that fresh thing will थोड़ा सा cover हो जाएगा क्योंकि Minamino has had a phenomenal preseason, an absolute
Right.
scorcher of a preseason. So that void of a creative midfielder, and he can slot in, like he can move wide, he can slot in. I think he'll be the spark of energy, but I still don't see them beating City.
And what if Liverpool have been heavily linked with Thiago? What if they sign Thiago?
I, I again, I don't think Thiago will serve a purpose in this Liverpool team. To be quite honest, I think if they sell Gini Wijnaldum to Barcelona, that will be a big blow. If
That'll
you
be a big loss for Liverpool because
huge loss.
Wijnaldum is heavily underrated. Heavily underrated.
I think he's been the best. He's been the best player in the league
I
for
know
the
you
last
hear
last
all
two
about
seasons.
Salah's and Mane's and Van Dijk. You don't
Exactly.
hear all that much about Wijnaldum.
And I think his ability to get into the box, um, it's amazing. And the defensive discipline that he has, and his ability to move the ball quickly. I think all of the data scientists at Liverpool, correct me if I'm wrong, Tivo, but I think they would have the stats to justify that. Like Wijnaldum has been the most influential player in the Liverpool team. I think Fabinho
For the
is
national team also. For the
exactly. I think
That's
Fabinho
why
is
Koeman wants him.
exactly. I think Fabinho is slightly overhyped. Sensational player, but he has his ups and downs. But Gini Wijnaldum and of course Jordan Henderson. I don't think
Yeah,
Henderson's
of
going
course.
anywhere. He's
Of
not the
course.
player who'll move. I don't think anyone wants him. Uh,
There's
but
no chance that he's moving now that he's won Champions League and Premier League for them.
yeah, I don't think he's moving. He's going to become one of those. People are going to think he's born Liverpool, and they'll forget his Sunderland days. But he will not move. So Thiago Alcantara is a different kind of player. Like he's not box to box. He's sensational. Like his technical ability is the best in the world. But like I think Naby Keita is also stepping up. So with someone like a Keita who's a box to box, someone like a Minamino who can become a creative player if they're not playing three in the midfield and they're playing only two, I don't think Alcantara would make that big a difference. And I might be completely wrong here because I know Klopp can slot in midfielders brilliantly, but they'll do well without him as well.
Yeah, but yeah, I definitely think Liverpool would finish second if they're not able to retain the title, which I don't think they will. So if I had to predict, I would predict they would finish second.
So we believe that City will be the champions and Liverpool will come second.
City to be the champions, hands down.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's even a debate about it.
What about
With or without Koulibaly.
Chelsea? They have a brand new team now. What happened to the youth revolution?
I like how unbiased this show is because despite the fact that all three of us are Chelsea fans, we're discussing Chelsea. So what's our top six now? So we've definitely got City winning it. We've got Liverpool finishing second.
Yeah.
We've got a contentious one in Spurs. We know they're going to finish top six, and we're undecided on Arsenal. Okay,
Arsenal.
okay. So three places covered, and now our favorite Chelsea.
Chelsea.
I don't know what to expect from them. I think there's huge pressure on Lampard, huge pressure, and I
Just
don't think
massive pressure. The amount of money that they've spent this window.
it's crazy.
By the time this podcast goes live, they will have, I think, a new keeper also.
Yeah, it's difficult to catch up with their signings, but I don't think they have signed to cover positions or to add strength to different positions. I think they've signed any talent in the market right now. And I don't think Lampard has a plan around how he wants to fit them in. Like I was reading somewhere that Havertz is actually Abramovich's signing, just like he did with Shevchenko, and we know how that turned out. Um, Not jinxing it, but definitely top six.
Yeah,
But I
really exciting time for Chelsea, but I don't know. They've almost bought more than half of a team in the same window.
exactly.
You don't know how the players are going to gel.
Yeah, and especially like temperamental players like Hakim Ziyech.
यार
It,
और एक और चीज है ना imagine last season when you there was a transfer ban all your youngsters who were playing regularly और एकदम से now you sign 7 8 players what about all the players that were starting उनको clearly दिख रहा है कि they won't be starting now तो उनका morale has to go down right
yeah, we don't know that. Like I think I
Depends.
don't think he's
Some
going to
big players
rush and
might. I really want Mount to step up, and as well as Reece James, but I really want Hudson-Odoi to step up big time.
they might
exactly.
step up, but they can clearly see कि उनका playing time has to go down. There's no way that they'll get the same amount of playing time that they used to.
Yeah, but I don't think that's too much of a problem. I don't think Lampard's going to rush in and be pressurized to play all of them. So I think he'll gradually fit them in. But last time ऐसा कुछ हुआ था याद है जब गैरेथ बेल को स्पर्स ने बेचा था and then they
Right.
went and bought 6 to 7 players like they bought Lamella, they got Nasser Chadli, they got Paulinho the Great. Uh, I think they've got Van der Waart in that window or before, I don't
But
know.
I think this time around it's different. Chelsea have got like the best talent, two German wonder kids. Like Timo Werner, he is second highest scorer. Havertz is like the fourth highest scorer in the
Yeah,
last
I
three
agree
four
with that.
season. So they are
But
like very good players, not
I
not the unknowns.
agree with that. I think जब Spurs ने sign किया था तभी those players were highly rated. The
Right.
problem with
There
being
was a lot of hype about Paulinho when he was signed.
oh my god, I still remember. They said that Spurs have signed the new midfield Pele or something like that. So that didn't turn out too well. But सही बोल रहा है कि these are all very well known players, and they're not just well known. Like sometimes you have these YouTube wonder kid sensations, and like Fabio Silva, who was signed. He's got no what's no pedigree whatsoever, and they're signing for 35 million. So these players are not like that. I mean, Hakim Ziyech is 27 now, so he's not a youngster. He's provided 21 assists last season, and I think he's been 10 assists plus at least for the last 3 seasons running. He was sensational in the Champions League. But then again, like these players, they're very system driven. Um, that Ajax team, like that free flowing system with that solid midfield, allowed him to do what he did. Now, will Lampard be able to provide that with an aging Kante? Um, I don't know. I think it's just going to be his tactical nose that will be tested, and not these players' quality as such. And that's where I'm a bit nervous.
Lampard, right? Lampard के ऊपर काफी कुछ डिपेंड करेगा कि how does he bring the best out of all these exceptional talents that they've signed.
Okay, what about United? We missed Manchester United
So agreed that Chelsea is definitely going to be.
in the top
I
four.
think I think top four for sure.
Yeah,
But
definitely in the top four.
top four, he'll figure it out.
I
Like
think
with
top four or it's goodbye Lampard.
I have to agree with you. But
Definitely.
ये जो ट्रेंड चला है ना, like nothing against Lampard, but ये एक ट्रेंड चल गया है. I think Juventus have fallen prey also. कि think about short-term PR gains when the club is in trouble. एक ऐसा एक्स प्लेयर को ले आओ जो बहुत पॉपुलर है और उसको सीधा कोच बना दो. I mean, Pirlo ने क्या क्या किया है Pirlo ने as a coach? Like he's done absolutely nothing. Like they put him as the head coach of a club. Like it's insane, a club of that stature. Similarly for Lampard, like he's had a very good last season, and I'm not questioning his pedigree or ability. But when you're thrown into this crazy spending, like there's such a lot of pressure, and it takes an experienced manager to deal with it. Like if he comes, like if he like he's expected to win the Premier League now, not finish in the top four.
Definitely.
I don't think
अगर
like हाँ,
टाइटल के लिए भी फाइट नहीं किया तो his job is at stake here.
it's a massive failure, right? Like if he's spending
Absolutely.
250 million, I don't think the only reason why he might get another chance, Tivo, is because he's a Chelsea legend. और कुछ नहीं, मतलब मुझे तो नहीं दिख रहा है टिकते हुए. और सोच पोचेटिनो चेल्सी फिर.
वो उसका पता नहीं, लेजेंड तो हमारे ओले भी हैं.
अरे हाँ, ओले भी लेजेंड है, तो ओले पे आते हैं. मुझे like contrary to popular opinion, but I don't think United are going to finish top 6.
Not even top 6.
What? They won't finish top 6.
I don't think they're going to finish top 6. I think they're going to
भाई
struggle.
इतने हेट कमेंट्स आने वाले हैं ना इस पॉडकास्ट पे.
क्यों, मतलब
Easily
ये
most
some
disliked
reason,
हो सकता है
some
ये.
reason why you think that they won't finish top 6.
देख ये वैसा वो वाला टेक्निक नहीं है कि कुछ भी बोल दो लाइक्स एंड व्यूज के लिए. बट थोड़ा सा जस्टिफिकेशन कर सकता हो कि देख I I think they played really well. Like they were not top 6. I think they were just about 6 or 5 like when Corona happened. And then had a phenomenal run with Bruno Fernandes, and I think that's where the weakness lies towards the end of the season.
Bruno Fernandes ने ही चेंज किया यार.
Exactly.
तो basically Bruno Fernandes को कुछ हुआ तो they'll be
तो
back to
कुछ
the way it
नहीं
was.
भी हुआ, सोच कुछ नहीं भी हुआ, अगर डिप इन फॉर्म
Dip
हुआ या
form भी
कुछ हुआ,
exactly.
तो व्हाट विल दे डू? बिकॉज़ दे हैव अ बहुत अच्छा फ्रंट थ्री है, बट there's no glue between the midfield and the front three, and that's what he slotted into. तो उसको अब ये stupid, actually this is not the right analysis. I mean, ऐसे तो अगर हैरी केन इंजर हो गए तो स्पर्स डूब गए, ओबा इंजर हो गया तो आर्सेनल डूब गए. So it might not be the most accurate analysis, but like the point is that he contributed to what, like 32 of the 34 or whatever points they won, and so उसको कुछ हो गया. And the other thing is this whole Van de Beek का जो signing है, I think that'll, and this is my opinion, I think that'll destabilize the club a bit, क्योंकि
ये
उसको पॉगबा
ये
ड्रॉप करना पड़ेगा.
खिलाएंगे कैसे यार पॉगबा, ब्रूनो और वैन डू बीक को
वो
along
पॉ-
with Greenwood, Rashford and Martial.
वो फिर कुछ वो बना देंगे, नाम बना देंगे वैन बॉगबा करके, and then like they're dreaming of it, United fans, but it's so destabilizing. Like I think against the smaller teams फिर भी कर सकते हैं Pogba and Van de Beek playing together, but Matic was their standout defensive midfielder. I think he was another big reason why they played so well. Scotty McTominay भी है, he's also, a lot of clubs are looking at him. So I just think Van de Beek will destabilize United, and given that forward line maybe temperamental players, yeah, Rashford phenomenal, but again temperamental. Martial temperamental, exceptionally skillful. Greenwood is super new. To expect them to sustain that level of performance throughout a season, I I just don't think they're going to finish top 6. I think Wolves and Leicester are
But you're saying Spurs are going to finish above United
100%,
in comparison.
100%,
That makes no sense.
100%,
कोई sense नहीं बनता उसका.
100%. To देख ले, क्योंकि I just think the United side, and this is again caveat, their wing backs provide no width whatsoever. अगर Sergio Reguilon, जो कि मतलब अभी talks चल रहे that they're planning to sign him, if they sign him, then they get a lot of leverage. But without forming up their wing, whatever it is, the right full backs, I don't think they're a attractive enough prospect. Even with the spending that they've done, even with the players that they've got, Spurs will finish above them for sure. And United
What if
won't.
they get Sancho?
They're definitely not getting Sancho this season.
Yeah, they're not getting Sancho this season for sure. अभी January window में तो Sancho आएगा नहीं, and I think Dortmund,
कोई
they're
chance नहीं है.
they're building such an attractive team कि
But
Sancho.
हमारे गुरुदेव फैब्रिजियो ने बोला है कि never say never in transfer
हाँ
window.
हाँ, भाई ने अपना वो भी अपना पॉडकास्ट हमें देख के अपना पॉडकास्ट भी खोल लिया है और 3 पाउंड चार्ज भी कर रहा है. घंटा कोई ज्वाइन करेगा? ओए तू ज्वाइन करके रिकॉर्डिंग करके मेरे को भेज सकता है.
वो तू एथलेटिक के साथ मेरे
एथलेटिक के साथ मैं तेरे को वो मेल में कॉपी करके भेज दूंगा. But like I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I struggle to see United sustaining. कुछ matches में they'll be brilliant, they'll be winning 5-6-0. कुछ away matches में they'll come back to the same issues, and they'll really struggle, especially again against teams that sit back. I don't know how they're going to break them. That's my opinion.
So If United are not in the top six and likes of Everton are in rebuilding phase, who is going to be the sixth team? Wolves or Leicester?
I
That
think Wolves
means
and Leicester. I definitely think both of these teams are like they've been consistent now. They've tasted success. Leicester almost made it to the top four. I think it's criminal that didn't get into the top four with the kind of football that they played in the first half of the season.
Yeah,
They
but Leicester consistent नहीं है with their performances, right? Last season they were pretty good, but उससे पहले वाला season again, if you see, they finished ninth. तो
yeah, but
Leicester का
what's the big difference between
long
sixth
term
and
में
ninth? Na?
you'd हाँ तो top six is still will be challenging for Leicester.
I mean, they have retained their core. They've only sold Chilwell. They've instantly replaced him with I think Timothy Castagne. I don't know how to
Castagne, yeah.
pronounce his name. He was sensational. He can play anywhere on the pitch. Right wing back, left back, right back, and he comes from Gasperini's school of football, which is total football. Atalanta, we all know how good Atalanta was and is. I think that's a phenomenal signing. To get to sell Chilwell for 50 and get a player of Castagne's stature, he's 24, into the team. थोड़ा time लगेगा settle होने में, but they have Ricardo Pereira. They have James Justin, who filled in for Ben Chilwell and had a couple of really good games as a left back. Midfield is out of the world. Willie Ndidi, Yuri, Tielemans, like phenomenal box to box. So they will definitely make top six if they can continue the form that they had in the first half of the season. I think Leicester are really strong and they've got a phenomenal coach.
so final consensus क्या है हमारा? टॉप फोर कौन है? सिटी, लिवरपूल,
Chelsea, Tottenham.
Chelsea and Tottenham.
Chelsea,
GT क्या
United,
कहते हैं?
not Tottenham. Sorry.
Okay, so GT says City, Liverpool, Chelsea and United.
हाँ,
Right.
मैं बोल
एंड
रहा
ऑफ
हूँ
सीजन फिर से आते हैं, बात करते हैं.
हाँ एंड ऑफ सीजन पॉडकास्ट में मैं शायद थोड़ा सा नहीं रहूँ but I think it's going to be City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham top four. Wow. Or Wolves and Leicester in the top six. United, Arsenal to drop out of the top six. I say this because I'm anti-establishment as well. तो थोड़ा सा मतलब मजा आएगा if the hierarchy were to be toppled. But there are solid reasons behind that. I think Wolves and Leicester have been slowly and steadily building. Wolves also have bought Marçal from Lyon. He's also a very, very, very good player. He's old, but he can put in one season of really good work. And if Adama Traore plays right wing back, and they have enough defensive cover from Adama Traore, I fear for at least for the wing backs or full backs of any team in Premier League. They've basically got their pick of Portuguese players, and they've got this new guy coming in, Fabio Silva, who's supposed to be Jimenez like. I don't know how he's going to turn out, but it's going to be an exciting prospect. And they've got Jorge Mendes. I think he's the biggest asset. अगर January में भी अगर reinforcements चाहिए वो ले आएगा. तो I just think if Nuno plays it right, Wolves will be top six.
So the final prediction is City to be crowned champions, Liverpool and Chelsea to finish second and third, and either United or Spurs to come fourth. Wolves and Leicester to be in top six. And Arsenal fans, well, you know your team. With your team, you never know, and that's football. You never know what might just happen.